What up, guys? It's your boy Milano back at it again with another live. So before I start this off with you know, what we're gonna talk about, just want to let you guys know they're gonna continue the situation, the case. So unfortunately, I'm have to wait a little bit. I don't know what I want to do. Excuse me. I might try to talk to my lawyer. I didn't really get a chance to talk to him because he had to go, but I want to see if I could really. Do I have to really show up at court, or could I do FaceTime? But if we're if worst case, excuse me, if worst case scenario, I can always fly back, go to court, and then go back overseas. So just come back here during that week when I gotta take care of the stuff and then go back. But we'll see. Still plotting what I want to do. I might just do 2 weeks or something like that overseas, and then just wait till this court thing fly over. Because I really don't want to have to come back just because of that court case. Shout out to Ken Padmore, appreciate you. Yeah. So they continue in the case, man. I mean, they always say the longer they continue the situation with it, whatever you're charged with or whatever, the misdemeanor, felony, the longer they hold out, the better it is. I heard so, but usually they're doing that because there's other people before me. But yeah, the do's and don'ts overseas, guys. There's a lot of novice rookie travelers making a lot of mistakes these days, guys. First of all, I'm not really trying to take shots at people, but I will say this. I can help you, Milano, find out some guys selling drugs and telling them. You're crazy. You're funny, Kim Padmore. This guy's a trip, man. Nah, I can't do that. But yeah, a lot of these guys, man, that certain guys are moving certain ways, and I have to be the OG traveler. Shout out to Jay Mees. Shout out to you. No, Kim Padmore. A lot of people think that because I told a couple people that I personally know, and they actually thought the same thing. Actually, I already paid the lawyer, so he's good. So it actually costs more money out of his pocket because he got to keep coming there. I mean, it does for me because I got to pay for parking, but if he was in the trial right now or try to end it, it'd be better for him. You know what I mean? But there's cases before me too. But yeah, man, the one thing, a lot of people are making mistakes, and I see a lot of rookie guys make mistakes. They're not bringing enough overseas. Shout out to the worldly traveler Nick, RIP to him. He used to tell me there was a lot of guys, man. There was a lot of guys who would come overseas and not have enough money. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, guys, because if I do plan to go overseas full time and be a full time vlogger, or even just go overseas and be a backpacker, whatever, right? I know the do's and don'ts on how to move. A lot of these guys don't know the do's and don'ts. They don't know how to move. A lot of these guys are getting stranded overseas. A lot of these guys are getting, going broke before they supposed to go broke. You're not supposed to be running out of money 2 days before your trip. Now, if you're running out of money on the last day you're leaving, that's fine because you could easily get to the airport, go on that flight, whatever it is, you good. But you should not, and I don't even advocate to run out of money on the last day. But if you're gonna do it, at least do it on the day you're leaving, not 2 days before, because then your whole trip sucks. Even when whether you're living overseas or visiting, you always want to have enough money, guys. Especially if you're living overseas, you always want to have enough money. You never want to be that guy begging people for money. I always have. If I was to live overseas, I'm gonna tell you how I'd move. You guys already know how I move when I do it, the vacation style. I like to call it vacation style because I don't really feel like I'm a full-time traveler or I'm a real traveler until I at least do it for a month or two. You know what I mean? And even a month or two is really not saying much to a lot of guys, but at least I can at least upgrade from a vacationer to a backpacker. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of people don't know they're supposed to bring a certain amount of money. You're supposed to only use your credit card's emergency or your debit card emergency. A lot of people are against bringing a large amount of money when they go overseas. Guys, unless it's over 10 grand, or if it's 10 grand, I highly suggest bringing that huge amount. And I'm going to tell you guys why, right? You bring that certain amount of money and then you put it up, you save it, and that'll be your little so-called bank. But you live off that budget. And if emergency comes, then you can use your debit card or whatever you have to pull out. But I would not have the debit card or the credit card my main source of money to pull from. Excuse me. That's supposed to be emergency money. Now, if you're living overseas longer than a month or 2 months, excuse me, you can probably definitely need more than 10 grand. But you could do a traveler's check, stuff like that. You can since I bank with Bank America, you can find out if Bank America is in that country. If Bank America is in that country, or not even Bank America, but your bank is in that country, you're good, man. You can actually avoid a lot of BS, right? I would get with my bank, find out where my bank is located in certain countries, and the countries I want to go to, those are the ones that have my bank in them. I would actually go to those before any other country that did. It would just make stuff more easier. Let's see. I am not going to lie. When in Cartagena, I like using my credit card for food and Exodo because I get exact rate. Okay. Yeah. How do you like the Cartagena food? And do they charge you extra, or you got a travel card? But most importantly, do they charge you extra? Because a lot of people don't know you got travel cards where they don't charge you interest or nothing, and then some of them you get money back when you spend. No, I accept travelers checks. Oh, no one accepts travelers checks anymore. Oh, okay. I thought they still had it. Okay, I thought they still had the travelers check. You can use it. No extra fees. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Um, yeah, man. A lot of people, they don't know what to bring. And some people, shout out to the Worldly Traveler Nick. He told me, he was like, one dude came to Colombia, bro. I think it was. I want to be honest. I think it was Cartagena, Colombia. It might have been Cartagena or Medellin. It was one of those two. But the guy came there. The guy literally had only $200 to spend. The man was staying for at least, I think, I forgot how long he was staying, but he only brought like $200, man, and that's a no go. Even if you're staying the lowest, which is like, I mean, you could stay 2 days, but even if you were staying, I mean, even if you was doing some crazy staying 2 days, man, why would you bring $200? Like, and then I think Nick had to front him some money or something like that. That's why Nick respected me because I never asked him for money and I already had my own. So RIP to Nick. But yeah, man, some of these guys they don't bring enough. Then they're begging everybody for money. They want people to send them money. Some of them are doing. They're asking if their YouTubers asking for subs to send them money. Um, I just think, man, you gotta really know how to budget your money, man. A lot of these guys don't know how to budget their money. Always pack a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, cologne, and lotion. Sometimes condoms. It's funny, condoms sometimes. Yeah, always pack all those. Not no sometimes, but I'll be honest with you. You really, to be honest with you, now all that stuff you mentioned, I'm gonna be really transparent with you. The toothbrush, unless you got like gingivitis, so you have to have a mechanical brush. Like my teeth need the mechanical, the electronic one. I strongly suggest you guys can bring a toothbrush, but you can actually buy one there and then throw it away. It's actually more convenient. I mean, if you want to bring your own toothbrush, that's fine. Um, Toothpaste, that's a liquid thing, so you can actually buy toothpaste for cheap in those countries, and then use them and then lose them if you so to speak. Deodorant, yeah, I think you're gonna have to. It might be a good shot to bring your own on that. They have deodorant overseas, but depending on how sensitive you are, you know, your skin sensitivity, definitely want to bring your own. Cologne, oh yes, definitely on deck. Cologne. Um, but they have cologne in these countries too. But if you have a certain type of cologne, like your boy do, like me, I love Curve. I had this other one. I used to get a lot of cologne from Rue 21. You have those special types of clones. You want to bring them, but I would suggest bringing the small bottles, guys. If you guys want to bring these big bottles and have to check in baggage, that's fine. I personally don't agree with check-in baggage. I'm gonna tell you why, guys. When you're traveling overseas, right, and you mind you, whether you're living over there, staying long term, or just visiting, man, you're gonna be somewhere where a lot of your stuff in your bag you need, right? Excuse me. If you guys gonna do check-in, I'm not big on check-in baggage, guys. I do carry-ons, but if you are gonna do check baggage, I would suggest, right, anything that's important, paperwork, passport, ID, passport, uh, bank cards, um, what else? For even the condoms. I mean, shout out to Kim Patton. He said condoms. Sometimes I'll be honest with you. I would bring I'd have the carry-on bag you have and the check-in bag. The carry-on bag that's going to be with you. That's going to go on overhead. Put the condoms on there. The toothpaste, you could leave them in the check-in bag because if they lose that, that's fine. Deodorant, depending on the size, because they're big on liquid stuff. They're picky on liquid stuff. You can leave that check-in bag. Toothbrush, you bring that with you in the on the carry-on if you need be. Cologne, depending on the size, bring it on the carry-on. But I would say lotion and I would say the top things out of all these, to be honest with you, is I would bring cologne and I would bring those condoms on my carry-on. Everything else on that list he just named I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not significant, it's not worth nothing, it's not important. But if you have a check-in baggage, there's times when they do these check-in baggage, guys, that they lose the baggage. Now they will give you money, and this is why I'm telling you, anything that's important, guys, anything that's important, make sure you put it on your carry-on bag. Don't put it on the check-in bag, the bigger baggage. The one that you're gonna put carry-on, bring that. And I strongly suggest, guys, if you're gonna do carry-on, I strongly suggest do the backpack route. I'm gonna tell you guys why. When you do the backpack route, you can actually take that backpack and put it on the seat, and there won't be no need for them. Because I'm gonna tell you guys. So when you do carry-ons, right? A lot of times, you know, when you do check-in bags, you gotta check them in. Whatever, they could get lost, right? Carry-on bags, sometimes they don't have enough room for those carry-on bags. They're like, oh, you still gotta check that in. You gotta still check that in. Now you're jammed up, right? So if you're gonna do a bag that's gonna be a carry-on, I strongly suggest it be a backpack, guys. And the reason why I say this is because if you have a carry-on bag that's like backpack, you don't have to worry about you don't ever have to worry about it getting checked in, because you can slide that under the seat and you're good. So even if they don't have no overhead empty space, you can slide in the seat, so you're good, man. You don't even have to worry. Guys, you do not want to have your passport. You don't want to have your condoms. You do not want to have your cologne in a check-in bag, and you definitely don't want to have it in a bag that, even if it is a carry-on, they could check it in. Because I'm not saying with the check-in carry-ons they lose those, because a lot, for whatever reason, they're really on point with those more than the regular check-in bags. Because, you know, with those, a lot of times they have them held somewhere. I don't know where exactly, but a lot of times when you come out, they used to have a way you could pick it up and stuff like that, and different other options. But excuse me, just make, or worst case scenario, if it gets that bad, I would say have your condoms in your jacket. But you know, depending on how much you're bringing, that's why I said put it in the carry-on. But you would definitely have your passport in your pocket, bro. Worst case scenario. I only bring 500 in Western Union myself at daily allowance. Now, when you Western Union, that you know you have to pay a percentage on that, Kim Pattamore. You got to pay to play, baby. And I ain't talking no chapiadoras, no mangoes. I'm talking about you gotta pay that percentage. That's why I be telling people too, like with the Western Union, and a lot of these guys don't know when they're sending these girls Western Union. And let's just go in a broad situation, right? When you're doing, and shout out to Razor Rays and all the other guys that go live. When these guys get super chats and you guys put the messages and y'all send them $100, $50, that's all good. I'm not knocking that. But a lot of times these guys aren't getting 100% of that money. YouTube's collecting. When you send a chick Western Union, or in Kim Padmore's situation, he sent himself whatever. Say if he sends himself $100, he might only get $80 of that, $70 of that, you know, or maybe less than that, because Western Union is going to take some money out of that. I don't know what's the percentage, but you're going to get some percentage taken out. So guys, just remember when you do that Western Union, yeah, they're going to get their cut. You still drive Uber, taxi, pizza? What's your plan to convert to full-time YouTube? Oh, so I still do full-time Pizza Hut, and then I work the other spot, but I'm not doing the Uber or taxi. I ain't gonna lie, I did have, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because I'm going through this BS. And you know what? I'm glad you said it, because I'm thinking about it. Yo, why don't I, since I got to go through this hell of this stuff, right? And I don't know how bad the industry is now with the taxi stuff, but I love doing taxi. So, you know, when you love something, you get good at it, right? And I'm really good at it. I was thinking about, man, maybe I should I mean, the only thing about it is with taxi, you got to work 7 days a week, but whatever. Um, the thing I was thinking about, I was actually thinking about maybe I should do taxi, go back to taxi. That would be perfect because if I go back to taxi, right, I got a vehicle I can drive. I don't have to buy. I don't have to buy a car. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna probably end up getting dispatched. So they're gonna dispatch me in, and I'm good. You know what I mean? And I'm good. And now that's a thing I could probably do. I could go back to taxi, and then I don't have to buy a car. And then that little 2,500, 2,600 I make off the total of my car, I could just lease off somebody's vehicle. Now a lot of people be like, oh well, you're gonna be paying a lot. You're gonna be paying a lot because you know the taxi's gonna charge you, but they'll be giving me dispatch, and you gotta think too. That money could be tax-free money too on the end. You know what I'm saying? I was pretty good at taxi, and I actually loved the job so much. And regardless of what people think, that job was actually not as dangerous as delivering pizza, man. Like delivering pizza, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of weirdos and idiots. I mean, I know when you do taxi, there's weirdos and idiots everywhere. But man, I'm telling you, man, there's some guys that are like, yo, they don't have your they don't have your interests at heart. Well, really nobody does, but some guys will just some people will they don't care. For $20, they want free pizza. They think it's easy. They might try some. You know what I mean? But I never had really that situation lately for a while. But you know, like I said, with taxi, you're your own boss. You're getting the tax-free money. You work when you want, and on top of that, you know what I mean. If they got a vehicle, they're paying maintenance on the vehicle. They're paying you know whatever on the vehicle, the insurance or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they're taking care of everything. I don't have to take care of nothing. I got a vehicle that's already taking care of itself. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? As long as I'm making my money, I'm good. And how taxi is, you can make your money real quick. I'm pretty sure the meter's a lot higher than it used to be back in the day. And then on Friday, Saturday, you're really making money, you know what I mean? Especially when people dispatch you. Uh, they got call it call it. They got cologne clubs now where they send you. Oh, okay, I spelled it wrong. It's supposed to be cologne is supposed to be I think COLGNE I think. Um. Okay, so that works. Always check passport. Has to be on. You can't check it. You can't check. Yeah, no, you know, sometimes somebody might put their passport in there. Well, maybe I'm the only fool that does that. But I put it in my carry-on because a lot of times I'm like, yo, my carry-on's always with me, so I'll put it on my carry-on. You know what I'm saying? Just to have it, so because you know, if you put it in your pocket, with it falls out. You know what I mean when you're sleeping or whatever. You know, you go to the bathroom, take a dump, the passport falls out of your pocket. You know what I mean? You pull your pants, passport falls in the bathroom. You never know. I'm always paranoid with that, so I just have the passport in carry on. But if they're gonna be checking those in, I'm like, no, I'm taking everything important, especially that on me. I'm not trusting nothing. If your passport and your check and you're not getting on your flight, no, 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 no. But some people might be stupid. I'm not gonna say they would do it intentionally. You know, I personally have done it because with my and I'm not saying my check-in but my carry-on, so to speak, I've had it in a bag where I'm drooling. And sometimes you got that easy compartment, that top compartment you can open and close. So sometimes I'll just toss it in there. Like, say if we have to, they have to strip search you, whatever. Not strip search you, but take your shoes off and everything like that, and not the strip search, the checking for weapons. When you go through the metal detector or the detector thing in TSA. Sometimes I'll put it in that and just real quick because I be trying to make sure nothing's in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So nothing goes off. So I might do that and then forget it. You know what I mean? So I just let people know to keep that on you at all times, or at least in your carry on. 10 fee. 10. I'd rather pay that than have this hotel staff steal my safe. Oh wow. Is it 10% or a $10 fee? Because if it's a 10%, it depends. The bigger the money, the more they're gonna take. You know what I mean? Are you crazy? Western Union does not take a percentage; they charge a fee. Well, that's why I call it take a percentage. I mean, it's the same thing. They're charging a fee. They're still. I mean, at the end of the day, the fee goes by how much you pull out. So that's why I say a percentage. Because say if you do $100, it might be $30 they charge. But if you're doing $20, it might be $3. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I don't really mean take a percentage like that, but I'm just saying that fee gets bigger the more you pull out. That's what I'm basically getting at. The fee gets bigger the more you pull out. So if you're doing 500, oh my God, I can only imagine how much they hitting you at. Pop, pop. They get at least. I'm pretty sure they at least getting 100 or close to if you pull out 500. They getting a hundo out of you. They getting a hundo. They getting a hundo out of you. But that could be the right. I'll be honest with you. That might be the best method. I'm talking all this trash, and you might be onto something, Kim Padmore. You might be onto something. That might be actually a good method to do, because at the end of the day, it's all about peace of mind, right? And my boy that put me on the traveling, I mean, I'm not I said RIP because I don't think he's traveling no more. And he got married. Not RIP like he's dead, but he ain't messing around with no chicks no more. At least not that I know of, you know what I mean? Or trying to get caught. But yeah. Yeah, he put me on the traveling, and he was like, "Yo, you always want to have a peace of mind." I don't care. I don't care. I'll pay whatever it is just to have a peace of mind. He's always told me that. So, you know, a $10 fee. It's more than that for Western Union. It's more than that. You must mean a 10% fee, Kid Badmore. Unless they changed it, which I highly doubt, because yesterday's price ain't today's price. I can tell it's more than $10. It's more than two. You mean a 10% fee? They hitting you. Okay. Well, I mean, maybe it changed or whatever, but yeah. I mean, either way, if you're right, that is a good method right there, because then you're never stuck overseas hurt. You know what I mean? And that might be something I need to look into. I could say what I want, but that might be something to look into if I decide to go overseas full fledged. You know what I mean? That might be something to look into if I decide to go full fledged overseas. Please. I will say this though: if I do decide to go overseas, I definitely won't be indulging in guys like that. Like the guy you see on this speaker, I definitely won't be indulging in hookahs like that, because it's gonna be pricey, guys. Like I'll definitely have to be a backpack traveler because I definitely will be watching my money. Um, but yeah, the do's and don'ts. You guys are already hearing it from me and Kim Pattermore what to do and don't. Also, too, guys, when you're going overseas, you know, places like Cuba, you want to make sure you want to make sure um you know you got enough money when you go over to Cuba. Like I know maybe Dominican Republic, Colombia, Mexico, Brazil, you might can BS your way a little bit. All right? Like you can probably BS your way a little bit. Cuba, you guys cannot be your BS your way over there, bro. Like if you don't bring enough, you're stuck like Chuck, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you don't bring enough, you're stuck like Chuck. I would never want to be in that situation, being stuck like Chuck, guys. So you don't want to go over to Cuba, Havana, Cuba, um, Santiago, Cuba, wherever you decide to go. Do not put yourself in that position where you're stuck like Chuck because, guys, I've heard they got an ATM at the I heard they got an ATM at the not airplane, at the airport. I heard they got an ATM at the airport, but it's not a guarantee, guys. It's not a guarantee. Also, too, guys. Also, too. Um, you want to make sure. You want to make sure, and it's always a good feeling if you're coming back with money, guys. Coming back with money. It's always a good feeling. You never want to be that guy. Why you want to be that guy? My boy at my other job, he'd be saying that. He'd be like, "Why you want to be that guy?" He remind me of Swisher Camp. He'd be like, "Why you want to be that guy?" He'd be saying that. He's like, "Why you want to be that guy?" He's crazy, but he's funny. He's like, "Why do you want to be that guy?" You don't want to be that guy that when you come back, you're just breaking even, or you went over to Havana, Cuba, whatever. Say you went to Cuba, right? Say you're like, "Oh, Cuba's cheap, man. I'm going over there with $700, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm going over there with $700, right? Excuse me. I'm going to Cuba with $700. I don't give a damn. You go over there, whatever, right? You spending 7 days, right? That's $100 a day. It's cheap, right? You good, right? That should last you, right? But say on one night, like Friday, Saturday night, you spent a little too much. You spent $1.50 or whatever. When you're ready to come back, maybe it's Sunday or Monday, right? Or even Tuesday, depending on when you left. When you're ready to come back, if you only have $100 in your name or $200 in your name, yeah, you got money to go back home. Yeah, you got some money to play with, for the next couple of nights, but you're gonna have to be very tight. If you're a monger, you're gonna have to be tighter than a virgin because guess what? You can't do them overnights. You can't do those overnights. You gotta do the cheapskate Jake price. You gotta talk them down $40. You have $200 or $100. You better get the daggone If you have $100, let's say you have $100. I don't want to say 200. 200 is still good money. You have $100, bro. You better be talking that $30, $40 joint. And I would be honest with you guys, a lot of you guys don't know how to talk to these pros. This is what you say. You gotta literally either, because we know none of you guys are lasting a whole hour, right? I would even go as far as telling them, listen, I'm only gonna last 30 minutes. Let me get it for $30 or $20. I would even tell them, yo, give me 30 minutes. I'm only last 20 minutes. Here's $25. you're going to have to do that in that situation because you're going to have to be tight with that money. When you're mongering overseas, that is your most highest expense. So never let anybody tell you anything wrong. That's your highest expense. I don't care how cheap it is over there. People be like, oh, well, yo, in Thailand, I was getting them for $20 a pop. Yeah, so was I, but it still was your most expensive cost because guess what? You got to remember, it's your vice. The beer, if you drink, your booze, your beer is going to be cheaper than your kitty costs. And I ain't even talking about the kitties that I got taking care of me right now. Well, not even taking care of me. I'm taking care of them around. I'm not even talking about those. You know what I mean? So your kitty cost is going to overlap, will be more expensive than your food costs. So you got to watch your money, guys. You got to watch your money. If you live there, just get a girlfriend. Yeah, but, things come up, Kim Padmore. Things come up. But I agree. If I live there, I'm getting me a girlfriend. I'm not doing the monger. I might. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going to be really transparent with this. If I go to Angeles City, well, if I go to Philippines, let's say I go to Philippines or Thailand, I might indulge in some mongering for like a weekend or so. Not a whole week, maybe like 2 or 3 days, just to test the waters a little bit. But then I gotta get me a girlfriend. You know what I mean? But I might monger a little bit. You know what I mean? Just to get out my system. But yeah, Ken Padmore is exactly right. If you're living there, get a female that lives there. Don't get a female that lives there. Don't try to monger if you live there. Now, I will say this, guys, right? If you're visiting, whatever, the reason why you're bringing extra, and a lot of guys like, man, Milano, why'd you bring? Because I think I brought like 3,200 or something like that. I forgot how much I brought. It was over $3,000. Let's just say it. I brought over $3,000 to Cuba, right? Everybody thought I was tripping. Flyboy Way thought I was tripping. A lot of people thought I was tripping, right? Like, so cheap in Cuba. Why are you bringing that much, bro? It's because you never know. You don't know what's going to happen in that country. If you don't have access to ATMs, you want to keep that much. Now, I know some guys are like, well, that's a lot. What if it gets robbed? Well, I'd rather have it than not have it because guess what? If I have it, and I'm just using an example, right? Say for the week, I stay in Cuba for 7 days and I blow $500, right? It feels good and I brought, say if I brought $3,000, right? And I stay a whole 7 days and I blow like $500, right? Spend $500 food, hookahs, activities, adult activities, whatever, right? Booze, whoring, whatever. Anything to make sure my life overseas ain't boring. Yeah, it feels real great to bring back 2,500 back home because at the end of the day, all you can do is deposit it, and it just makes you feel better and better. It actually puts a smile on your face. So when you're leaving paradise, you're actually in a better mood because even if you leave in paradise, you're not leaving paradise broke, guys. This is the whole mindset of a cheapskate Jake. A lot of people tease and say, "Oh, you're too cheap. You're cheap." Da, da, da. But the cheapskate Jake lifestyle is to never be without money, dinero, pesos, dólares. You know what I mean, guys? It's never to be without any of that. So I'd rather have it on me than to be lacking, you know? Because if you're lacking, you're definitely not into macking, and you're definitely slacking. And then guess what? You ain't gonna be able to get into no adult action. You dig? So yeah, you definitely want to make sure you bring enough. Now, Do I think I might have brought a little too much in Cuba? $3,000 US dollars? Yes. But guys, it's always good to come back home with all that money. If I spent 500 and I'm bringing back 2,500, or I spent, 500 and I'm bringing back whatever, it feels good come bringing that home. You know what I mean? Like, that's what guys don't understand. It's already bad enough you're leaving and you're gonna miss it, but when you go home and you have all that money, excuse me, it doesn't feel as bad. Most guys better stay out of Cuba. It's going to be tons of horror stories. No Western Union, America credit card. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why I tell people bring all the extra. You gotta bring all the extra, because at the end of the day, if you don't bring that extra, you get caught slipping. You know what I mean? You don't want to be caught slipping. Now, listen, guys. I know people are gonna be like, man, why are you gonna listen to Milano? He's tripping. You only need to bring the. I'm not saying you need to bring 3,000. I'm telling you what I did. Now, you stay 7 days, you could bring 2,000 and still be good. But again, guys, because if you bring 2,000, say if you went crazy, 7 days and spent 1,000, you're still bringing 1,000 back, so it's still gonna be all good. You know what I mean? The whole point is, I always want to have extra just in case. Say if something happens, right? And I'm just hypothetically speaking, right? Say if something happened with the planes, right? Going back home. Say if there's a delay, storm, whatever. At the time when I was going to Cuba, I didn't have that problem, but you never know what's going on. Say if you have certain weather problems, like right now we have little Debbie cutting through the waters and the oceans and messing up the beaches, whatever, right? The beach towns, whatever. Say if little Debbie's around and they say, oh, little Debbie's going crazy, we're going to have to postpone your trip 2 days back, right? I'm just saying, say if that happens, you never know what could happen, right? So you're stuck in Cuba. What if you're instead of 7 days, right? Instead of 7 days, you're stuck in Cuba for 9 días, 9 days total. If you have 2,500, those 2 extra days ain't gonna phase you. If you have a Jeep and you standing like a Jeep, you won't have to worry about that. If you got 1,500, right? Because if you spent 500 in those 7 days, and then you got 2 days, you got to stay in Cuba because whatever happened, right? You got 1,500. 2 days ain't nothing for you. You know what I mean? You still good. You always want to prepare, guys. Anytime you're overseas. You know what I mean? Anytime. Anytime you guys overseas, you want to prepare. You always want to prepare anytime you guys overseas. It's always good to prepare. Damn, we lost all the people? God, dog. Went from 5 to none. Jesus Christ. But yeah, you better get the $20 girls. You're funny. I will say this though. Cuba is definitely a good hidden gem to go to, guys. Cuba is definitely good to go to. You guys don't want to sleep on Cuba, man. Cuba is worth it, guys. I'm telling you. But yeah, if you going overseas, Colombia, Cuba, Costa Rica, Yeah, you could get $20 girls, but some guys get greedy. And then you gotta remember, some guys want the overnight, and you ain't getting $20 for overnight. I don't care what anybody says about in Cuba. You are not getting no girls overnight for $20 in Cuba. I'm sorry, you're not. It's just not happening. You know what I mean? I know guys who speak Spanish and got girls for. They say they got them for 20, 25, and the girl wasn't attractive, but that was short time, and I think that was probably 30 minutes. You know what I mean? How's OW? Is he MIA? I don't know. What up? What up? Hit that like and hit that like button when you get a chance, man. If you don't do nothing else. What up? Trillion Capital Toronto Corporation. Real people, real wealth. How's OW? Is he MIA? Why? What happened? Because I've talked to him before, but I haven't heard any thing lately from him. I know he's not a big YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like he's more of like he goes out there and does his thing. He's not really big on YouTubing. You know what I mean? There was one time I think I promoted a video on Colombia and got him some views, but he's really more, how do you say it, reserved, so to speak, low key reserved. I want to go to Cuba, but that's a weekend trip. Yeah, Cuba can actually be a weekend trip, man. You can actually do it for a weekend. Actually, to be honest with you, if I don't move overseas right now, because like I said, that it could be an idea for me. I really don't want to buy another car, guys. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really don't want to buy another car. It's like spend 3 grand. I mean, I got the money, but it's just like I mean, because I'll be honest with you, if I move overseas, I'm gonna end up selling it anyway, so it don't even matter. So it's like, okay, well, if I ain't gonna buy another car, what I need to do is I need to try to get back on with taxi, do that so I can lease somebody's car and work it like that, and then do that till whatever. Because if I do taxi, I could literally do that for the whole year until this situation comes up. And hopefully by November they're ready to make a decision. But it doesn't even matter because even if they make a decision, whether they do it or not, and I know the taxi, they're gonna be like, oh well, we can't have you because you got this on your record. If that happens, it don't matter because then by November, I could go overseas and stuff and be like, okay, I'm gonna go overseas now, and I'd already saved my money and I ain't bought a car. And that 2,600 I spent is still in the bank. You know what I mean, guys? But yeah, that might be a plan to do, man. That might be a plan. You know what I mean? Wait, I can't get a girl in Cuba for a Snicker bar? Nah, nah. You definitely ain't getting that for a Snicker bar. These mofos are starving, man. People be saying they're cheap. They're not cheap, man. I'm telling you. And if you want a regular girlfriend in Cuba, you gotta at least stay a month because they gotta know you're gonna stick around for a bit. But they are worth it, man. There are attractive white Cuban women, and there's attractive black Cuban women. So a lot of guys don't know that. If you want a black woman with no attitude, and that's gonna be really down to earth, I would go to Cuba, bro. No cap. Excuse me. Really down to earth, really submissive. I am trying to start a company over there, but it is very hard. People are just not capitalists. You trying to start a company where in Cuba? Everyone just keeps sending me DM on Instagram asking for money and phones. And yeah, I mean, Cuba. I'll say this: Cuba It's a different type of territory, man. Different type, different type, different level. You know what I mean? Different level. You got to be built for Cuba, man. It's just a weird situation over there. That's why, like, shout out to Flyboy where I think he's getting, he's building a legacy over there. But it's a lot of stuff going on over there. I mean, but he has his own ways, his own reasons for doing that's his business. But I'll be honest with you, and a couple people probably would love this. I'm not gonna put them out there, but if I was gonna have a kid, I'd probably have a kid in Mexico, or maybe I would have a kid in Mexico if I could, or who else? Mexico or Panama, bro. Because Panama is doing good. Three places: Mexico, Costa Rica, or Panama. Because Mexico is not a real poor country like that, and even if it is, even though if people think it is, the fact that America loves Mexico so much, it'll probably be easier for you to get your kids over here from Mexico than anybody else. Now they did say Cuban people can walk through, but I think with the Mexican people, you can actually, it'll be easier to see them and all that stuff, and you can just cross the border to see your kids. Two, Costa Rica, and then 2 and 3 is Costa Rica and Panama because those countries are already doing pretty decent. They're not really third world. They're third world countries, but they're not. They're doing better than a lot of other countries are. You know what I mean? So that would be a good situation. And I heard the Panamanian, the Morena, the Black Latinas there really treat you good. You know what I mean? And they're not begging you for money all the time. Yo, yeah, man, for sure. But I'll go down and party my face off. And your advice on bars will ensure I have a good time. Yeah, make sure you check out the video where I had adult entertainment in Havana, Cuba, man. That's gonna really show you where you need to go. But I'll say this: Salt Sukar Bar is good. VNS Bar is good. A lot of the other bars are really good. You know what I mean? Like VNS is good too. You know, VNS is good. Everybody loves L&M. L&M is okay, but I wouldn't really go crazy over L&M, man. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't really jump up and down for L&M. Yeah, funny, man. Those skinny girls. We gotta just say the skinny girls because we ain't gonna start no trouble. But yeah, man, L&M, it's okay, but I'll say there's VNS, Habana, Casa de Musica is awesome for if you want to get your culture on. If you want to do like Kim Pattamore and get you a girlfriend in Habana, Cuba, definitely, definitely, definitely go to Casa de Musica in Havana. Well, Habana, should I say? Casa de Musica, Habana. You will get a good girlfriend. Now, there are some pros in there, but there's some regular women there. If you know how to dance, or even if you don't know how to dance, ask one of them to show you. You know, get that open liner in. Like, oh, show me how to dance. I want to learn how to dance. I want to learn your culture. They show you how to dance. They will love that you're trying to learn their culture. Guys, this is not rocket scientist stuff. You know what I mean? It's easier than skinning a cat. I like how my cat looked at me with a mean look when I said that. It's easier to skin a cat, guys. You can he actually stopped and looked at me too. You can actually do this. It's not that hard, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. It's easy to be able to just to go to these places. And I know people say, oh, you say it's easy, but it's not. Now, listen, I was going for the pros because I'm greedy and I like my stuff fast. But I'll be honest with you, my tour guide was pushing me, guys, he was pushing me to mess with the regular women. I just didn't because I was only there for a week. It didn't make no sense. Now, if I would stay in Cuba, Havana, Cuba, for a month, yeah, I'd be on it. It'd be on like Donkey Kong. You know what I mean? Excuse me. But yeah. Also, so you already know the do's and don'ts overseas. You know, bring enough money. Uh, try to do carry on. If you do carry on, do a backpack. Um, bring enough money. You know what I mean? Um, Another thing is, guys, when we're overseas, make sure you respect the locals, guys. Make sure you guys respect the locals. I know some guys, they're used to a certain part of town and they're like, yo, you know, I'm not going to let nobody disrespect me. That's fine. But at the same time, you got to give respect to, you got to earn respect. And remember, we are a visitor in these people's country. Guys, I want to make sure you guys get home safely. Do not be foolish and try to disrespect these people. I'm going to say another thing, guys. When you're overseas, and this is especially for Cuba, guys, especially for Cuba. One, don't film no police overseas. I'm just being honest. In Cuba, Dominican Republic, none of them. Don't film. If you're filming, make sure you don't film no police officers overseas. Do not do it, guys. I promise you, it won't be a good look. Especially in Cuba, but other places too. I do not speak any Spanish, man. Will I be able to still get brought? So if you have a tour guide, he can do it for you. He can speak Spanish for you and try to help you out. But you know, some guys they just want to deal with taxi guy. Some of these guys are lazy. And this is why I keep telling people, man. This is why I keep telling people. When you go overseas, like to Cuba, like say if you went to Cuba, staying with the family, and people are like, oh, I don't want to stay with the family. I don't want to stay with the family. You know, I don't want them to know what I'm doing. I don't want to stay with the family. I don't want them to judge me. They're not gonna judge you, but you gotta get stuff straight first. You know what I mean? Like you can't be telling them I'm a Christian man and I want to find a wife and you're damn a whoremonger and you know you're not being honest. You know, you can't fault them if they think you're gonna be Johnny Do Good and you're trying to be a Christian man and find a woman. And I'm being sarcastic when I say I'm a Christian man, but you can't say, oh, I'm trying to be a committed man. I'm trying to find this one Cuban girl, and then you're having these hawkers coming through like you know, like pizzas come through Pizza Hut every 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be honest with, you know, they already understand you're adult. You know that they're not gonna judge you. They know you're adult. They know you're a man. You're a single man. Hopefully, they know you got needs, so they will accommodate them. And when I mean accommodate them, they will make sure you have a good time safely, and they will try to get you what you're looking for. But you guys, you can't go over there talking about, oh, I'm looking for a wife. I'm like some of these passport bros. I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking for a wife. And you're messing with the mother. Oh, like this guy on this not thumbnail, the guy on the speaker right now. He's messing with them. Oh, in Colombia, Cartagena to be exact. He's messing with that white and tight, and he knows he about to get right. You know what I mean? If you got a guy looking like this, and I'm throwing myself on the bus, looking like this, you think I'm gonna want to bring this guy around a respectable woman? No, because he wants them all. You know what I mean? So guys, you gotta be upfront with these people, man. Just show them respect. Be upfront. Now maybe you don't want to say, oh, I'm a full-blown bonger. I'm doing this and that. you ain't gotta say that, right, guys? You ain't gotta say that. But don't sit up there and have them believe that you're a one woman man and you're looking for a wife if you're looking to play around. That's the only thing. If you're looking to play around, tell them, listen, I'm a single man. I like to have company. Do you allow company? It's either yay or nay. But when you guys go, like I told you guys before, and I said it before again, and I'm gonna drop the thing. Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put it on there. Homestay.com. Okay. Y'all know how to use Google, right? Homestay.com, guys. When y'all do that, right? Homestay.com, y'all will find many homestays. They have homestays, they have people, these are Cuban owners that either own a house and they're renting a room, or there's Cuban owners that are renting an apartment, guys. But either way, you will have a good time. They will respect your privacy. And at the end of the day, when you're looking through this homestay, they will tell you what they allow and what they don't allow. Now, I know on my homestay, when I went to stay with the Cuban family, they said, they allowed company. So, and even on the homestay, I double checked and asked them. But yeah, you can do that before you book, so you can know what's going on and what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Get by. I mean, the rest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I tell people all the time, man. If you want to get good Cuban food, it's definitely not the restaurants. Excuse me. Now, there are good restaurants. I got them on my shorts. Guys, if you're looking for that comida, that food, that good Cuban food, whatever it is, it's always good if you check out my shorts on my page, guys. You can see the restaurants or whatever there. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you really want to get good Cuban food, okay, you don't want to stay with a Cuban family, cool. That's fine. Get with some Cubans or people that get with some Cuban people and see if they can cook you some good Cuban food. Because I'm telling you right now, um, Cubans have some good food and they give you good home cooked meals. The people I was staying with, I don't regret staying with them. This was top quality food, had seasoning, and on top of that, it was delicious. I had pasta, guys. Now, I know some guys on the no carb diet or whatever, they're trying to stay away from carbs. I had pasta, guys, and I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel like this put weight on me. I mean, when I came back from Cuba, guys felt like I lost a lot of weight, like I lost like 10 pounds. Maybe that's not a lot of weight, but you know what I mean? And the reason why I lost that weight when I was in Cuba, I probably could have lost more if I wasn't drinking booze. Well, I wasn't boozing and whoring. And I know you're probably saying, well, boozing and whoring, if you're whoring, that's exercise. But yeah, you're taking a lot of your nutrients out of your body when you're, messing with them hookahs. So if I was in boozing, well, I'll say this: if I was in boozing, I probably would have lost more weight than I did already. But I did lose a lot of weight because it was hot there. I was still doing my little home workouts, and I was only having one meal a day, guys. Now I was having booze, but the food was so organic, it didn't stick to me. I think the only thing that stuck with me was the alcohol. You know what I mean? And that's probably why I probably would have been a lot lighter if I didn't even drink, period. But yeah, guys, the food is really organic. I would get a Cuban family to cook for you. That's your best bet. I don't suggest I mean, you can go to restaurants. I'm not gonna tell you guys not to do the restaurants, but the Cubans cooking for you is the best thing, man. I mean, even if you have to get one of the full over and tell them to cook you food, do it. You won't regret it. You know what I mean? You meet one of them hookers, get them during the day, tell them you want Cuban food, whatever. Now, guys, I will say this: if you go to Cuba, right, and you're big on good quality food, I would highly suggest you bring two things, right? Bring napkins and bring seasoning. Now I know what y'all saying. Well, Milano, why am I bringing napkins? Why am I bringing seasoning? The reason why I said this is the reason why I say this is because if you're bringing the reason why I say bring napkins and seasoning, because at the end of the day, napkins are considered like gold over there. One, two, um, they don't have a lot. Three, you might can barter something with the restaurants and maybe get a cheaper price. I highly doubt it, but I mean, you probably could. And four, last but not least, four. But if they don't have enough seasoning or the seasoning you want, the food is actually good. It's just they lack the seasoning. So you could probably put some seasoning on it or whatever. Or if they need seasoning, you could offer them to put it on there. But I would suggest the guys to bring the seasoning. You don't have to. Like I said, when I was staying where I was at, they had all that seasoning and stuff, and it was good. Now, maybe I might have lost weight because I didn't have all that seasoning. So I didn't have that water weight. I don't know. But, at the end of the day, the food in Cuba is not top quality. It's definitely not competing with Dominican Republic, but I would suggest bringing your seasoning, your own seasoning. They got pizza out there. The pizza's different. If you like crushed red chili pepper or garlic seasoning on your pizza, I would bring that. Because you can eat pizza all the time over there. If you're fat like me, I don't suggest you do it, but um, you know, or if you're a no carb diet, I wouldn't suggest you do it eating pizza all the time. But the pizza can be pretty wholesome. It just needs seasoning. The tomato, the what is it called? What's that freaking called? Tomato, I think it's tomato paste or whatever. Um, the tomato, pizza sauce. The pizza sauce is really not that. They're really not good with the pizza sauce, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Like I said, you guys bring your season, you'll be good. But we're not going over there for the food. We're going for the experience, and we're going so it can humble us and know what we are getting overseas. I mean, what we get in the States, because we are spoiled in the States. We got seasoning. I mean, their cars, guys. A lot of times they told me this with their cars, they actually have to pay out the money up front. They don't get that credit like us. So just remember that when you're over there. Now, let's see. Okay. Yeah, y'all got that homestay.com. Make sure also too, before you go and book overseas, I want to be honest with you guys. A lot of you guys are asking about the Airbnb. Listen, if you want to do the Airbnb, that's on you. I really suggest you do homestay.com. I'm not saying that because they're sponsoring me. If they want to sponsor me, they can, but they're not, so whatever. I'm telling you what I experienced. You do want to stay at homestay.com only because one, it's supporting the Cuban people, and when you guys are going over to Cuba, you want to put for the support of the Cuban people. That's the only way that's going to get you over there. And then you don't even have to pay for the visa right up front. You could wait till you get to the airport and pay for it. As far as going places like DR, Thailand, or Philippines, I would say in Philippines and Thailand, another thing, do's and don'ts. Excuse me. Make sure you have respect for these Asian people, guys. Excuse me. Make sure you guys have respect for these Asian people. A lot of guys go over there, they try to bully these guys. They're like, oh, this Filipino, he's like 5'2", 5'4", whatever, right? I'm 5'9", I'm 6 feet tall. Guys, we want to make sure you guys get home. Don't start trying to bully these guys and being disrespectful. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm gonna give you some brutal honesty. A lot of you guys always ask me, oh, Milano, I gotta worry about the lady boys in Thailand. Well, listen, you ain't got to worry about it in Thailand. You got to worry about it in the Philippines, buddy. Yes, sir. And guess what? They'll be aggressive toward you. They'll even say crazy stuff like, if you say, I want some coochie, oh, I got coochie on deck. I don't know if they got an operation or not, but gotta be careful in Philippines, guys. Now, with that being said, I was in Manila when this happened. You go to other parts of Philippines, you're not going to deal with that. I would probably strongly suggest, guys, and I know I haven't been to Cebu, which I need to go. That probably needs to be my trip for a month or 2 months is in Cebu, Philippines. Because I probably live cheap over there. I think in Cebu, Philippines, I wouldn't have to worry about that because Manila is like a city. You had stuff like that. Manila, Angeles City, you had them being aggressive like that. But like I said, guys, you got always respect the people no matter what they are. Lady boys, boys, girls, lady girls, boy girls, whatever. Respect the people because they support each other. Guys, when you're in Asia, Philippines, Thailand, it doesn't even matter if it's a lady boy. If it's another Filipino, they're gonna have it back. If it's another Thai, whether it's a lady boy or not, they can have their back. Just be respectful, guys. Do not get aggressive. Don't squeeze their hands and none of that. You know what I mean? You'll be good. As we already know, Thailand is a land of smiles. Also, too, Thailand, you definitely don't want to get into altercation over there because they will kick your butt. You know what I mean? I would suggest, and this is just me, for all my seafood lovers, do not mess with seafood on the street. Deal with a restaurant or go to a supermarket and cook it yourself. It's from your boy, Mr. Boston, going hard. You don't want to deal with seafood in the street, guys. I'm just being honest. I don't want to say what's going on in there, and I'm not going to bash these people. I want to make an honest living, but I'm just going to say this. Only way you should be eating seafood in Philippines or Thailand, restaurant, or you cook, or you or your girls cooking it at your house. So, restaurant or supermarket. Restaurant or supermarket. You at the supermarket, you or your girls cooking it. Don't deal with the street food when it comes to seafood. When it comes to seafood, don't deal with street food. When it comes to street food, don't deal with seafood. You guys get it? You don't want to get sick over there, guys. You don't want to get sick. You know what I mean? Seafood, you can get sick easily. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this, like the chicken, they got great fried chicken, guys. You won't get sick of that. They got the daggone ramen noodle soups for $1. I don't know if it's $1 still. It might be $2 now, but good stuff, guys. Good stuff. El Salvador, if you want to get a wife, a good girl, I would suggest do go to El Salvador. If you want to go to a good quality Latina. I would even say get a good quality black Latina, but they're hard. El Salvador is one of the top ones. They're very loyal, and you won't have to worry about all that cheating, bro. If you're going to Asia, from my understanding, you could go to Japan to get a girlfriend, but their work ethic is crazy. I would, if for somebody that wants somebody that speaks English, I would say Filipinas are great girlfriends. Probably better than Thai, to be honest with you. Oh no, I didn't get sick, guys, but there's vets. Let's just say there's not vets. I'm sorry. There's expats that gave me advice not to do it because they had buddies that got sick. So it's a roll in the dice with that. Um, they said they know people that ate seafood in the street, didn't get sick, and then there's some that did get sick. So it's up in the air. You never know. But when it comes to seafood, guys, you always want to be on point. You know what I mean? Because the cooking is different, guys, and I know this sounds weird, but it's just a different level, man. Like when I get some fried chicken in Thailand off the street, that stuff is so hot, dude. Like it's so hot that when they put it in a bag, the chicken is literally burning through that plastic bag. It's so hot. You could literally burn your mouth biting on that chicken. It's so hot because they cook it so fresh, the fried chicken. With the fish, you gotta understand something. The fish, the seafood, well, not even fish, but the seafood has a different temperature it needs to reach versus the chicken. The seafood has to be a lot hotter than the chicken. And that's my just using common sense. Like usually seafood, you have to have it a lot hotter in a certain temperature. But yeah, man, and you gotta remember with the chicken, um, a lot of times if it's fried chicken, they got stuff over it and stuff like that, but and it's piping hot. But with the seafood, it's like raw and fresh, and then they're cooking it. So, but yeah, man, I would just say be careful. I'm not gonna tell you not to do it, but I'm not gonna advise you to eat the seafood, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But what I will advise you to do is you can, if you want, you have a girlfriend in Philippines, Thailand, especially Thailand, you can have her cook for you at home. That will save you guys a lot of money. You know what I mean? Also, too, guys, getting a girlfriend in Thailand will also it will make your experience better. Now, I know a lot of guys like, oh, well, Milano, you're a mom girl. Why are you pushing for a girlfriend? The reason why is, guys, remember, I've seen in Thailand where they have tour guides, and I've seen tour guides, and they're charging. If you got a Thai girlfriend, she could show you around for free 99. On top of that, she's gonna make sure you don't get ripped off, guys. You know what I mean? She's gonna make sure you don't get ripped off. The tour guide is all about the money. I'm not saying the Thai girl is not, because everybody's different, but she's at least gonna have your best interests at heart. Because whether she's trying to get money out of you or she really likes you, at the end of the day, she doesn't want that tour guide getting your money. So if she just doesn't want the tour guide getting your money because she doesn't want you to get ripped off, or she wants it more in her pocket, at the end of the day, she's trying to avoid that tour guide to get your money. So it's a different situation. I would say this though, it's easier for me to get a Filipino girlfriend than a Thai girlfriend. I've had a Filipino girlfriend, and the reason why is because Filipino girls speak English, more better. But I do like Thai because I will say this: Thai are more developed, and I'm gonna be, respectful on this live, even though I'm cursing on it. Um, the Thai women I've had are more curvier versus the Filipino are more skinnier. The Filipino girls, though, they got your back, right? Now, I'm not gonna bash Thai women because that's unfair. I haven't dated every Thai girl. I haven't dated every Filipino. For all I know, I could go out back to Thailand, right, for a whole 3 months, and I could do Philippines for a whole 3 months, and switch that whole situation around, and be like, "Oh, Thai women are better. Thai women are better." So I don't want to say Filipino women are better at boyfriend girlfriend. I'll just say it all depends on you. I will say this though, as far as food, if you want good food and you like spicy food like me, I probably want a Thai girl over a Filipina. But that's just me. But I have had Filipinas that were really loyal, that didn't want no money, and actually rejected rich guys for me. Guys, I'm just keeping a buck with you guys. I'm keeping it 100. I'm keeping it a buck like 4/4 on this live, guys. I've had a Filipina that rejected a rich guy that was from Saudi Arabia with oil money for me, who's a low budget, and literally, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was probably a low budget, I want to say a low budget cart pusher at Walmart. The Saudi Arabia guy could have changed her life, right? I probably, I could probably add a couple of dollars to her and help her out. I could help, but I don't think I could have changed her life. The Saudi Arabia guy could have changed her life. She rejected him for me, guys. So, and she still rejected. Like I said, she had a kid, and she could have got in when she fed in and pursued him. But instead of pursuing him, she stayed loyal to me. So I will give a shout out to the Filipinas because they're very good. And I even know one white guy. He married a Filipina, and he brought her back to the States, and she keeps him at home. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't want him drinking and driving or going out there getting drunk. He can drink here with me, and I want to keep him safe." And she really loves him. A lot of guys don't understand this, and some guys, they might say, "Oh, well, these Filipino women, they just want money. These Thai women want money." Now, listen, I know a lot of you guys love these young Thai women, these young Filipino women. But the older Filipino and Thai women will be more, and I don't mean they don't gotta be 50 years old like your boy likes them. Like, they ain't gotta be on that grandma stuff. I don't want y'all on my weirdo vibe, man. I'm the only weirdo in this travel space. Don't y'all be trying to get my vibe, right? You can get one that's 28, 30, because technically in Asia, and when I mean Philippines, Thailand, and Asia, anything over 25 is considered old, to be honest with you. And I want to be honest and say anything over 23 is old. But I'm going to just keep it 100 and keep it straight out. I think anything over 25 years old is considered old in Asia, all around the board. Philippines, Thailand, Japanese, Chinese, whatever. Hong Kong. Vietnamese. If you're over 25, you're old. With that being said, if that's the case, then I would get a 30-year-old lady and be good. You can even get a 28-year-old. My girl, I think at the time was like 26, 27, 2 kids. Blew a lot of these girls that were 25 years old, 21 years old out the water, bro. Had a Coca-Cola bottle body, bro. And I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually shout out to Kim Pattermore. I messed up, man. I've been so much dealing with this situation with the court. I got to actually post in the community page. I'm gonna post some pictures of some Thai women. Once I get off there, either today or tomorrow, I'm gonna try to do it today. I'm gonna post some pictures of some Thai women and show y'all what they really look like, bro. But yeah, Thai women are winning, bro. Filipinas are women too. I'm sorry, Filipinas are winning too, not women too. All the women, unless they're labeled. Filipinas are winning too. But you know, the thing about it is a lot of guys have preference, you know. They want the women with curves, you know what I mean? And that's what they desire. But they got Filipinos with curves too. They have Filipinos with curves. They have Filipinos with curves, and you can get them, but you gotta hunt, guys. And I think they got him on Tinder. But I'll be honest with you guys, a lot of these Filipino women, I met them on Facebook, guys. I met them on Facebook. You can get them on Facebook. They got Facebook groups with Filipinas. Jump in that group, have a ball. When did you get your I didn't deal with the cigars in Havana, Cuba, man. I've had people ask me about them, numerous people. I don't deal with that. That smoking crap, yeah, I don't deal with that. I like to breathe. I'm good. Like, and I know I could probably make some money off that, but I was just like, bringing all the stuff. Like, I just didn't think it was worth it. I probably should have came back and brought it and then sold it because I know people who would really could be able to, want to buy it. And I really should have did it because I bet you I could probably get a certain amount of cigars, bring them over, sell them, and then make my money back off the plane trip. Because I'm pretty sure if I got like what 30, 40 cigars, if you charging 15 to $20 a cigar, say if you charging $20 a cigar, right? With 40, that's about 800, right? Yeah, about 800. 15 probably a little less, but you could get your money back from the flight. But I was just like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. Go to these mofos and they're like, oh, okay, well this ain't this, and I'm only paying for this. Like it's just not worth the headaches. I know people want to get rich quick schemes, but sometimes it's not worth it, man. Sometimes it's not worth it messing with that. But yeah, we're going on. I think an hour and 28 minutes, 29 minutes. About to get off this, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you missed the live, guys, right? Make sure you like, comment. If you don't want to share the video, you don't have to, but it would do good to share it. But make sure you leave a comment, if anything else. Even if you didn't leave a comment during the live, you could do it afterwards, right, guys? You could do that afterwards. So leave a comment. Hit the like button if worst case scenario, that's the lowest you could do. is leave a like button. I mean, hit the like button. Or just leave a comment, whether it's troll or not. Comments always appreciated. But it's your boy Milano back here again. What to do and don't do overseas. I might start with like a series with this, like part 1, part 2, whatever, part 3. Just let me know. It depends on what the vibe is, what the views are like. If people like this, I'll keep doing it. But yeah, man. Top stuff you need to do. Make sure bring enough money overseas. Put all your important stuff on the carry-on. If you're gonna do carry-on, make sure you try to do a backpack so you can always have it on you. And respect the people, man. You know what I mean? Those top 3 things, do's and don'ts. Those are the do's. And the don'ts is don't do the opposite of that. You know what I mean? And, like I said, if you're getting seafood, it's better to get in a restaurant or cook it yourself. Don't get off the streets. It's your boy Milano back at it again. Tell a friend. Holla at your boy till the next time.